Hello everybody, welcome to a new maybe series, maybe not, Kerbal Space Program. This is an older game, but it was on the Steam Summer Sale. I went to check it out and I'm actually enjoying it, although it can be frustrating because there is quite a learning curve. There are a lot of training missions you can do. I would recommend doing these. I didn't do enough of them. But let's start a new game. Call this new game. We're going to do career mode. You got three. You got sandbox, no money, no constraints, science, gather science data. No, don't have to worry about funds or reputation. We're just going to do the career. Let's pick our flag. And we'll use NASA. And I'm going to play in normal difficulty. You can click this. Change some of the stuff. Screw around with it. Reputation, funds, penalties, etc., etc. But we'll stay on normal and start. Now, I've been playing this for a day or so. A lot of derping. So we got Gene Kerman giving us our little introduction, how to move around. Thanks, got it. So here is your main map where you're going to be doing pretty much all your stuff on the ground. Have your tracking station, vehicle assembly, mission control, runway, because you have space plane hangar, astronaut complex, administration building, research. So the first thing we're going to do is go to mission control. This is where you're going to get your missions, where you're going to gain money and reputation. Green is good, yellow is bad. So we can grab two contracts. First one's going to be to launch our first vessel. We'll take that. If you decline these, it will cost you reputation. So we're going to take that and gather scientific data. So we got that. Leave facility. A little tip. If you have these open, you may feel the need to click the X. Don't do that. There is no prompt if you're sure, and you will automatically decline it. So, go down here. Those are two contracts we have. Now, so we are going to have to build a ship. We do that in the vehicle assembly building. Now this does have physics. If you are not careful, you can basically spin out of control. Got it. Just tells you how to move the camera around. So, can't move anything around till you start building your ship. And what you need first is the command pod. Snaps that there. Now you can move around. Up, down. And you can also name it. We will name this Alpha 1. And we will use this for our first missions. And then click save. Alright. So, we have our craft. Or we have our command module. We need to get it into the air. For that, we have no fuel tanks yet. So we will use the Flea Solid Rocket Booster. Basically pick it up. When it connects, left click, it's on. You have symmetry and toggle snap. You got two different kinds. That's the one you want. Alright, so we have rocket to launch. We have our control pod, but we are going to need something to bring it back down safely. So we're going to go down here to utility, grab a parachute, pop that on top. We are going to right click on this. This is going to control when it's going to open. You want to crank up the minimum pressure. I always crank it all the way up. You can leave this one at 1,000. This is sea level. So if you are in if you're landing in higher places, 1,000 feet maybe below the ground, and you will crash. You can crank this all the way up. About the main thing it's going to do, if you leave it at 5,000, you're pretty much going to open good most of the time. I leave it at 2,000. It's just going to take longer to sink to the ground. To get that off the screen, just right click anywhere and it's off. Now you notice with the contracts, if you hover over it and click to bring it up, it'll stay up. We need to gather some scientific data. Click notes, recover or transmit any science experiment from Kerbal to achieve this goal. So we need to pick up something for science. Right here we have mystery goo. Click that. You can put it anywhere you want. And now I can show you the symmetry. You can either click down here. This is going to place 2, 3, 4, 6, and 8. You can also just hit X to change it. If you hold Shift X, it reverses it. We are going to bring 2 of these guys so that we have basically balance on our ship. I'm going to place those kind of high, because if you do have just one, it's going to create more drag on one side and you're going to tend to tip while you're flying. So yeah, so this pretty much has all the stuff we need for our first couple missions. We will click save, and then this green button will move us to the launch pad. And we forgot to do something, but we can do it on the launch pad. It's just not going to be saved for later, but you'll notice this staging. When you hit space, you run through the stages. This is the staging. So if we do this now, the parachute's going to deploy and the rocket at the same time. We do not want that, obviously. So you click the plus, it's going to create another stage. We are going to grab this, move it down. So now we should be good. And hopefully my fan on the computer, there it goes. Alright, so we are ready. First thing we should do, because I forget, if you right click on this science, or the mystery goo containment, or any of the science unit, brings up a little menu. Let's observe the mystery goo while we're landed. You'll see from the launch pad, goo doesn't seem to be doing much right now, but if we recover this data, we get 3 science. If we transmit it, we get 1.3. Okay, so that's going to render inoperable, so we'll just collect it because we get more science. So we'll keep this experiment. We're not going to do the other one yet because we are going to do that while we are in the air. You can also right click on the command module. You have some options. We are going to do a crew report, which will get us 1.5 science. We'll do that here. You can only, well, not usable in range comm devices. So we'll keep the crew report, and that'll be good too. Alright, so let's launch it. If you hold this open, these will turn green when you achieve the goals. So you'll notice data from Kerbal isn't, because they want you to be flying. So let's hit space, and first we are going to hit Z to throttle up, throttle on the side. You can also use control to adjust down, space or shift to move up. And we are going to turn on this SAS, which is the Stability Assist System. And that means that Mr. Jebediah Kerman right here is going to help stabilize the ship so that we don't basically flip out. Now, if it's too bad, even he's not going to be able to help you. So you can either left click it or hit T. You'll notice these little buttons come up. You'll get more as the pilot gets more experienced. You'll be able to fly to the Appy SS and such, but for now we just have stability assist. So, space, let's do it. So now we've launched our first vessel. See surface, we're speeding up. On these solid rockets, throttling doesn't work. Once it burns at what you launch it at. Alright, so we are gaining altitude. We need to collect some science while we are up, so let's do that real quick. We get 7 science for this, so keep experiment. And crew report we already have, but what we didn't do yet is we have not upgraded enough for him to do an EVA while in the air. So now we are starting to come down. When this is grayed, it is cool to hit space again for the second stage. But we're going to wait till we get a little bit lower. And we can do it now. So we'll hit space. That's going to arm it. So when it gets down to the pressure, it's going to shoot it out. It's going to shoot it out. Any second now. It's not. There it goes. So now it's out. And then when we get to where we had the feet, it's going to open up and slow us down nicely. Now it's going to take a little while for it to go down, but if you hover over this, you have time warp. At certain distances from the surface, you get different amounts. Like when you're out in space, you can get all the way up to 100 times. And we are coming down at 6.5. Oosh. And we are landed. It's auto-saving. Now what we can do is hover up here and recover vessel. But before we do that, he is going to go on an EVA, which he jumps out. Now this is going to give us another option for science. First thing we're going to do is let go. Whoa! Some little graphics glitch there. Now you can run around. Now we are going to do an EVA report. I don't think a spacesuit was entirely necessary to get here, but we are going to get 2.4 science for that, so we will keep this experiment. And the problem is we can't jump back up into our vessel. See, we can jump a little, but not enough to get up here. So we are going to recover vessel, which if he is out is just going to recover him. So loading back. EVA report got us 2.4 science. Recovery of vessel from a survived flight gets us 5, so we have 7.4 now. So now we click next. Jebediah Kerman got 1 experience gain. Now you'll notice that this is sitting here. Left click that, and this is our craft. We are going to recover that. And from that, we got another 12.3 science. And recovered these parts, which got us some funds back. Here's your funds up here. You click done. So now, lower right, click that once to keep it open. These are notifications. Contract complete. We've got our science data, so we'll erase that. Achieved goal complete. Contract complete. Contract parameter complete. And world's first milestones. Speed record, first vessel. And all this got us some more cash. And reputation. And some science. So we'll delete that. So now what we can do with this 29.7 science we have is click on there. And now we can go up the tech tree. There's quite a bit of tech. But for now we are going to get just some of the basics. So basic rocketry gets us access to these new parts, so we'll research that. Engineering gets us another piece of science gear. A coupler, research that. Now we have 19 left. These ones cost 20, 18, and 15. Survivability, though, gets us another science module. Along with some other stuff, some new chutes, service bay, heat shields. We need the heat shields for getting out of the atmosphere, protect the ship during re-entry. So we are going to get this. Drops us down to 4.7. Nothing else we can do with that. So let's leave the facility. And now we hit mission control. There are a lot more available contracts. See, some of the stuff you can do, like testing at the launch site, stack decoupler at launch site, and you'll notice when you click on some of these, like escape the atmosphere, this is when they expire game time. But it doesn't expire once you have it. So you have an unlimited amount of time. It gives significant prestige for up here. You get money off the bat and prestige, and upon completion you get this. So we're going to take the escape the atmosphere. We are, let's see, these ones you need to be over a certain area. I don't care for these ones. Haul a parachute into flight above Kerbal. So we got that, but parachutes. Testing one on the launch site might be a little difficult with the solid fuel, but we'll give it a quick shot because I want to see something. So we got that. Whenever you get ones that could be tested on the launch site, I'd say get them right away. They're quick, easy, basically easy contracts. Also, if you right click on any of these, you'll see a thing to upgrade them. It shows where it is now. Hover over it and it'll tell you what you get for it. Tracking station required for flight planning. This one and mission control and tracking station are usually my first two because they give you a nice handy tool later on for when you're going for orbits and stuff like that. Alright, so we got this. Also, upgrading those allows an EVA for your pilot. So, We're going to take this off. You can either bring it over behind the bar and click it, or if you're just holding it, hit delete and it removes it from your bar. But we need to test the hammer solid fuel, which is this guy right here. And I'm going to try something. Alright, so we got that. Let's launch. I want to see if I can adjust the fuel on it and stuff at the launch pad. Nope, you can't. So if you make any mistakes, forget to do something, whatnot, if you hit escape, you can revert flight, and it gives you two places. Like if you have a bad launch, you can revert to launch. We are going to go back to the vehicle assembly, because if you right click on this, you have the thrust limiter and the solid fuel with slider bars that you can adjust. I am going to bring all this down to 0 for this. And let's go back, because I'm hoping without fuel we won't actually leave the ground. The other thing I did notice, you can click run test. I've noticed with like testing like couplers and stuff, if you right click on pretty much anything in the stage, you can manually do that stage. But I have noticed, especially with parachutes, if I click the deploy chute, it doesn't want to accept it as done, basically. Yeah, I've always had to hit space to do the stage. But if you look up here for the prerequisites, we are on Kerbin, we are at the launch site. All we should have to do is run test, and hopefully it doesn't go anywhere. Ran test, there was no fuel, so it didn't do anything, but the test is now complete. Recover vessel, easy contract. But I think we will leave it right there. The next episode. And I forgot to get science data. Wah wah. But the next episode we will do escape the atmosphere. Because now we have rockets to get up into the atmosphere, which is 70,000 meters. So, that is all. If you watched this far, I thank you for watching. I truly do appreciate it. If you enjoyed the episode, want to see more, leave a like, comment, and as always, be good. See you later.